Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. Thank you for joining us on this July 4th weekend. I'm joined in studio by Joe Biggs and also Micheal Zimmerman. We're going to be talking about some of the things that have happened, not just this year, but pretty much our Infowars experience as we go around the country. We go to various events, rallies, and sometimes they turn into flat-out riots. Now, one of the things we've been covering quite extensively here over the past year, the things going on at these Donald Trump rallies. Some of them are very peaceful, some of them not so much. So, Joe Biggs, let's talk about your experience. Start off in Dallas and some of the things that you saw there.
Yeah, so the actual first Trump rally we ever attended was myself and Matt Weber. It was a little over a year ago. It was his first rally. It was in Dallas. And, we went inside. It was pretty intense. The crowd was reacting really good. And I had no idea what was happening on the outside. I didn't know there was going to be protests at it, really. I mean, we just went to go cover Trump speaking.
Right.
And, we walk out and Weber's getting his camera stuff ready. And all you see are these cops on horses and they're like jumping up and down. And there's probably 100, 150 people maybe out there in front of the police line screaming and yelling, waving these Mexican flags. And you saw some of the communist flags and Black Lives Matter and all that. And I'm sitting there like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
For this?
A rally.
For a rally? And it just spiraled out of control from there. I mean, we've all covered almost every single one of them. Between the three of us and Josh Owens and Rob Dew, things have got intense and they've gotten downright violent, and the propaganda being pushed by the mainstream media about what's really going on has gotten so out of control that so many people are confused about what's really going on at these rallies. The fact that people are trying to go in and out to go see a presidential candidate speak, and yet what's happening as they come out, they're being spit on, harassed, assaulted. It's crazy.
It definitely is that. Now, Micheal, I know we've gone to some of these things as well, and you've also gone to ones that I wasn't there. So can you tell us about some of those experiences?
Yeah, one recent one was in Richmond, Virginia. You had a bunch of communist protesters show up there waving their, communists or anarchists, they're waving their flags around, and they just started attacking these Trump supporters that are walking through. And I think what you're talking about, this media narrative, has really got out of control. They're trying to blame this on these Trump supporters that are just trying to go hear a politician speak. And they show up to these events and they're getting attacked.
It's empowering these people that go out and carry out these attacks because they know nothing's going to happen to them.
Yeah.
They turn on the TV at the end of the night to get like that rush, that high. Like, did I make the cut? Am I on there? And all they hear is peaceful protesters clash with racist Donald Trump supporters. And these guys are like, wow, I just punched somebody. I damn near killed somebody and I got away with it and no one's saying anything. Let's keep doing this. And from there it exploded.
Well, you see the media spin, because when Micheal and myself went out to Albuquerque, that was a scenario where the Trump supporters, they went into the building rather, fine, calm. But then you had a group of protesters, demonstrators, who came out there and they rushed the barricades. They run up to the front door, start trying to kick in the door, and it just got worse from there. Let's take a look at that video.
happy to be there right now. Protesters have thrown down the barricades and they're trying to breach the building. Infowars.com.
Shut it down!
And that's just one aspect of what happened that night.
Yeah, the behavior of these people is just frankly disgusting. They were screaming at families, fathers carrying their young daughters, yelling, "F you, your kid is gonna burn in Trump's camps." I mean, these people are just so far out there. A lot of them, being bussed in. We talked to one guy as we were leaving, one of the more violent protesters that we saw. You and I both saw him throwing rocks. And he was like, "Oh man, I missed my bus."
Yeah, that guy was ridiculous because, we were out there, and this isn't the guy who hit me with a rock. This is a different guy. But he's out there throwing rocks and stuff at the cops. I'm like, so when they start shooting the gas and, possibly rubber bullets, you're going to be on the front line when they start, firing back. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be here. And then what does he do in the back of the night? He's way back there behind everybody else. And this is the mentality of the people who go out there to these events.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's a thrill for them, maybe. I don't think they actually believe that they're accomplishing anything. I think it's these people who just want to be violent for the sake of violence.
It's an excuse to act violent.
Right. Well, same thing, you were talking about Ferguson earlier, and, people will riot and they'll burn down, shops and businesses that are owned by the neighborhood in their community. It's your neighborhood.
And that's a good way to segue because Biggs and I, we went out to Ferguson, and one of the things that was very interesting the night they gave the verdict on the officer, what was going to happen to him. The guy, I believe it's Michael Brown's stepdad, he jumps up in the car, he's like, let's burn this mother effer down. And then he goes home. Yeah. And then people start burning stuff down. Guys are raiding cell phone shops like, I got to do this for Michael Brown. I'm like, you didn't do any of this for Michael Brown.
I was standing in front of the fire department, remember? Because I was doing the show live. I was sitting there walking, I had the tripod or whatever set up. And as soon as he said that, because they were right in the road in front of us, and he stand up on that car, was him and his wife, which was Michael Brown's mom or whatever. They were sitting there, and he jumps up and screams, and then all you saw was everyone disperse, just run. All the people who knew what was about to happen, all the people that stayed were media, cops, and the people that were there to burn that town down, and they did that. I remember glass shattering across the street at that cell phone spot. Then someone threw a bottle over my head, and it shattered. Remember that glass at the fire department behind me? And I'm sitting there like, wow, this is about to happen. That's what some of the most intense rioting I think any of us have been to, but it's gotten close, like Costa Mesa. Josh Owens, those guys were down there. People jumping in the cars like we saw in Ferguson, doing donuts, almost hitting bystanders. I mean, that's out of control.
Bloodying the faces of Trump supporters.
Yeah, hitting people in the face. I mean, this kid was just like dripping blood.
Yeah.
Why? For what? Because you want to make America Mexico again? Get the F out of here.
Well, and
look, here's what happens in a war. You lose. The people who win take the land. That's how it is. Get over it. Don't be a sore loser. This is not going to be Mexico again. This is America. 4th of July, roger that.
One thing we've noticed a lot at these recent rallies is these protesters or rioters will show up with their bandanas already on. They've got their eyes covered, some of them wearing goggles. They are ready and wanting a violent riot to happen at these events.
These are George Soros people. I mean, look, we've already got it numerous times. Like you guys said, the guy missed his bus. And then when I was in Dallas this last time, I got the guy saying, or the police officer, the Dallas PD guy saying, hey, we've got to get these guys pushed to this side of the road. We need you guys over here to protect you from these guys so they can get back to their buses that brought them here. And I was like, oh, hold on, excuse me? The buses they were brought in? He's like, yeah. He's like, these guys just get brought here to do all this stuff. He's like, these guys are ignoramuses. You guys are peaceful people actually here to just kind of watch what's going on. You're not here to be violent. He's like, these people are brought here to do that. It's ridiculous. And the guy's admitting it all right there.
Absolutely, because we saw, after everything had happened in Ferguson, the reports, people going on Twitter of all things to say, I didn't get paid, to protest. They did get paid, but they didn't get the paycheck.
Yeah.
They didn't get the payoff of it. And this is the mentality of people to go into somebody else's hometown, somebody else's neighborhood. They'll tear it up. They come from Chicago, wherever
Ferguson,
they're from.
Same thing.
Yeah, and they tear it up and then they leave. Because you notice the people who live there, those are usually people who were trying to stop people. They just went home, when things started to get hot. It was the people who didn't live there, who lived across town, lived wherever else, they tear it up, and then they just leave, almost like a locust.
Like one of the topics I would talk to people about, I'd be like, why do you think that Donald Trump is racist? And we're like, well, he wants to build a wall to keep out all the immigrants. I'm like, well, that's just not the fact. I was like, the walls to kind of slow down the drugs, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, it's to put a halt kind of to help slow down illegal immigration from happening. It's not to stop immigration, but these people would use this as their talking point that building a wall is racist, that's bad, you shouldn't have walls. Darren McBreen and I were in Eugene, Oregon at a Trump rally, and the same people who are looking at him and I, calling us a racist for being there because were at the Trump rally were locking arms and creating a wall to stop people who were inside the Donald Trump rally from coming out. Literally keeping them in there, enclosed in this area, because there was only like 1 or 2 ways in and out. So these same people who hate walls were creating
They create their own walls.
The same one when I was at the Milo event in UCLA in California. The same people were like, walls are racist, or screaming it while they're creating a wall in front of the event to not allow people over. It's completely hilarious.
Yeah, and as we think about this, I always think about the personalities that show up at these events, good, bad, or indifferent. I was out in Atlanta, and I was in a crowd of mainly anti-Trump people. The Trump people already in the Fox Theater, I believe it was. And there's this young kid who was out there, and he's doing a Trump chant. And I was very interested because this was an anti-Trump group, the area. So I'm started filming him, and just out of nowhere, this guy comes and starts yelling at the kid. He's like, "You're a disgrace to America. Your parents shouldn't like Trump," and all this other stuff. And he's like, "Thank you, sir." He's like, "Yeah, he's a respectable young guy." He was letting this guy yell at him before he even started to engage him. And when he did engage him, it was quite the scene.
That's real sad. He's against you. Why will you support a racist?
Tell me what he said about
He's
African
going to send
Americans.
you back to Africa. That's what he said. He said send Mexicans back to Mexico. You are a disgrace to America for being a young black man supporting a racist.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's sad.
That's awesome.
How does your parents feel about you holding a Trump sign?
They're Trump fans too.
Where they disgrace to America too, because he doesn't like you or your
All my
parents.
friends are immigrants. I have 3 friends.
Yeah, you didn't answer our question.
And they're happy.
What has he said?
He said send Mexicans back to Mexico.
No, he said
don't let Muslims here.
Yeah, he said.
Why?
Are you gonna let me talk or are you gonna yell?
No, I'm telling you,
Oh,
because
you're
you holding
gonna
this
yell.
Trump
You're gonna
sign,
yell.
and you
So we
need
can't
to be
have an educated
taught.
conversation, can we? We cannot do that, right?
And then
Oh,
kids
okay,
are
okay.
telling you
Well,
against your own people.
She just
about holding
graduated high
Trump
school, so
sign.
she's not a kid no more. Okay.
What would you tell him when a racist tell him send Mexican back to Mexico? What would you tell a young black man?
I only believe that he's gonna send illegals back.
Yeah, exactly.
He said in
That's
your
what he
face,
said.
send Mexican back
He
to
said
Mexico.
illegals.
That's illegal.
Illegals.
Illegals only. And
Please.
he's
His
not
wife
legal.
is not legal. She's from Europe.
She's legal.
How she was born in Europe?
Okay,
Why
but
would
she has a
her
U.S.
husband be running for president? If
But she has a U.S. citizenship, so that's just because she was born in another country does not mean she has a legal citizenship. That's fine. You don't have to.
You're a real lad. If he's
And I can say the same thing about
elected,
you,
he
but I
would
would
be
not say that
against
because I have
you
a
because of
bigger
your
mindset
skin
and I'm
color,
only
young
16,
man.
and you're probably like 30-something, but
I
you're
believe in
yelling
Black
at a
Lives
16-year-old
Matter. He's against
for his
black
candidate.
people.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
go listen to him
Yeah.
speak, and he'll prove you wrong. There are many black people who support Trump.
Plenty of
We
them.
came with it.
I think his VP
So
might be
many?
black.
How many?
Oh, how about you once at that rally, you see a lot of
Yeah,
black
we saw a
people.
lot.
You know what?
The media won't show you that, though.
People in there gonna stand up against Trump.
You
More
sure,
black
sure about that? Sure about that?
Black people that he asked his security guards to kick out of the rally.
Oh, and Valdosta State?
Yeah.
Talking about,
Yeah.
they were protesting against him.
Yeah, and what is that?
You
That's
cannot
shit.
protest in a rally. Then why would you do
Why?
that?
It's freedom of speech.
We don't go to your rally. We don't go to your rally. He does the same thing to white people too. So I don't understand. He does the exact same thing to white people too. So
and that makes it okay.
I mean, if
They don't let
you're gonna protest against us, yeah,
They don't let Trump supporters like freely protest.
Okay.
You should go get educated on what's
Oh,
important.
I'm very
in this.
educated,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'm very educated.
We're being
Thank you.
educated.
Really
That's
sad.
why we came.
Sad that you brainwashed.
Because we learned about our
Sad. It's sad
What'd
that
you
you're
graduate with?
brainwashed.
What's your degree?
Where'd you graduate with?
That's not the question.
Yes, it is.
The question.
Are you educated in economics? Are you educated in any sort of political background?
I've worked on many campaigns, and it's so sad.
That's very vague.
It's very
What
sad.
campaign?
I've
very
worked,
sad that
I
you're being
worked
so
for our
vague.
president twice.
Okay, one of the worst guys ever. But okay.
Oh yeah, one of the worst guys ever. Let's look at the condition of our
This
country.
country
8
was
years.
built on love, not hate. Donald Trump is a hater.
That's fine.
He's a racist.
He's not. He's not.
He is a racist.
If he's getting
You know this country is built on religion, too,
Yeah,
not
this
religion.
He believes in hate.
You know this country
Do
is
you
built on
know the
religion.
history of his grandfather and father?
Oh, my
They
God.
was KK members. They own real estate in New York.
How do you know that?
Go Google it.
No, you Google it because obviously your facts are very misconception. You have very horrible facts. You come to me with you calling me to lie, so I don't know about to believe
in New York when he bought property.
I was look it up for myself.
That was his grandfather, and his father was KK members.
Okay.
Go read the history.
KKK members, you mean not KK members?
They was Ku Klux Klansmen. KKK.
Klansmen, okay.
Who's against your color?
Okay.
Against your skin? Against your people, your ancestors?
I think the Democratic Party founded the KKK, by the way. Just saying.
Let me tell you.
What
I'm for the
political
people.
party?
It's not because of Democrat or Republican. I'm for the people.
Okay. That's good.
The people are united, will never be defeated. Okay. And that's what I believe in.
And
Donald Trump trying to divide the country.
He's not trying to divide us.
Yes, he is.
He's trying to unite us.
He is.
Just because his policies are not like yours doesn't mean he's not trying to.
What you mean qualities?
I said policies.
Policies?
Yes, but you're spitting at me.
We're a person tell Mexicans he gonna build a wall to send them back to their country.
Because we have so much illegal immigration. That's why.
Look at his wife. How do you think she got here?
She's legal.
She's not legal.
Yeah,
She's from Europe.
There's a way to legally immigrate.
Exactly. Did you not know that? You don't know that. Oh my God, this is not
my grandparents.
Yeah, because you don't know anything. You need to go learn how to spell your first name, go to college, get a high school education, and then you come back and talk to me. Thank you.
Do you know his own party is turning against him?
Go get a high school education.
Because of the racism he's teaching.
Go get a high school.
Now, with the last minute and a half we have, we can't stop but think about the personalities, like I was saying, and all the people we meet at the events that we go to, even some that we didn't attend, whether it's Trigglypuff or, some of these other characters.
Carl the Cuck, AIDS Skrillex.
I just don't understand the mentality of these people who will come out and just yell at people. They have no argument, whether we go to the abortion events here in Austin and people come up, they're yelling at David Knight's wife and all these ridiculous characters who show up to just wreak havoc.
We've literally at Infowars created some of the greatest memes and made some of the most infamous people out of these triggered individuals who are crybaby, whiny-ass, un-American, pathetic individuals.
Well, that's an American statement right there. Now, as we go out to break with these triggered people, these triggered individuals, give you a real quick look at the new merchandise in the Infowars shop. You can get your new Come and Take It shirts. Also, you can get the Infowars shirt that Zimmerman has over there. All that is available at the Infowars shop. It's a great way to support your country by showing your red, white, and blue.
Well, it helps us go out to all these events and trigger individuals who are horrible human beings. And it's also a good way for you guys to sit back and laugh and enjoy yourself while learning something at the same time.
Yeah, you really are funding the fight against this complete insanity.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned after this for more special reports.
We celebrate the 4th of July as a reminder of earning our independence from a tyrannical and oppressive government. Just a reminder to the Obama administration, there's plenty of room on the calendar for another holiday.
FEMA is talking about food prices going up 395% potentially. We got the Pentagon report predicting a meltdown coming around 2017. We've got Kissinger talking about a food as a weapon and using it. We've got Soros talking about EU collapse. Trump talking about bubbles. Ron Paul. Most of the grain in many countries being turned into ethanol for cars when we got plenty of oil. Venezuela food prices are up to $150 for 1 dozen eggs. Brazil is in financial crisis. The UN's announcing that it basically runs our southern border. This is insane. All of these policies being set by the globalists. Governments and elites are stockpiling food and weapons and building bunkers. I know I personally am getting prepared. The warning signs are insane, and that's why we're offering some of the biggest specials ever at InfoWarsStore.com right through the July 4th special weekend of 20 to 40% off. The biggest wide spectrum sale ever on preparedness items, 20 to 40% at InfoWarsStore.com.